so exhausted by not quite understanding what happened and not being able to change some of the facts that by the time you get to the punchline, do we or do we not pay a ransom? Like most people just sort of throw their hands up and they're just like, yeah, we're going to pay it. The UK has an initiative to ban ransomware payments, to make it illegal to make ransomware payments for public sector companies. And, that's a very interesting way to attack this problem.
I think it's probably the best way to attack the problem, though, to be completely honest with you, because you look at like GDPR, and I was at a company that was impacted by GDPR, and everyone was freaking out and everything. And as the security engineer, that's, typically the first one to raise their hand and say, hey, we need X, Y, and Z. Like, if you want to get this done, it's X, Y, and Z. That's it. Right. As someone that's doing that, and I get told no all the time, constantly. Oh, we have to spend $50 more on that? No, we're not spending it. We're not buying it. It doesn't matter. To now be forced to adhere to GDPR and now to be essentially to have a very robust disaster recovery program to avoid the ransomware payment. To a security professional, I mean, that is a walk in the park. Now I get to do real security work. Now I get to like actually do stuff, that everyone like talks about. Like, now I get to do it, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Can I ask you a question? Because I'm struggling with this. I'm curious as to your perspective. How do you think AI is going to change the cybersecurity landscape?
So this is the problem. This is the real problem that we're facing today, is that there used to be a skill gap, right? There's a very large skill gap in between what a day one, let's say, hacker could do and pull off and whatnot, and what a 10-year vet can do and pull off. Right. There's a huge difference. I mean, you look at, really any profession with that kind of experience, like that kind of experience gap, there's going to be a big difference. With AI, it takes that difference and gives that 10 years of experience straight to that day one hacker. And now they're able to get low to medium to even high level hanging fruit in an organization. And typically they won't even know how they got it really. They just know that they got it. Now, I also have had on other threat intel experts that have said, we identify risky behavior, but we don't know if it's resulting in a breach because the attacks are getting so advanced and they're so obscured that we're no longer confident we're able to identify the breach. And so with, AI becoming a bigger player in the space now, they literally said, we think that we are getting breached by AI, but we can't prove it. We see it in our customers' networks and we're not really sure. And so these attacks are getting so advanced, so out of hand that even the detections that we have and the experienced professionals, yeah, it's not they're working, but they're not working at the level that we need them to. So for a while, it's going to be a whole lot of the offensive side. I bet when we can start identifying these attacks like pretty regularly and with high degrees of certainty, we're going to see all of these corporations just got breached, right? Like all of them at once.
I spend a lot of time thinking about this. It's a good perspective.
Yeah, it's what was that Netflix? It was like a Netflix movie that came out within the last year with Robert De Niro, I think, where he was like appointed to some,
It's going
you
on my
know,
movie list.
yeah, some council. Yeah, and they figured out that it was a cyber attack that basically took down the power grid. It was a fairly temporary, outage in the power grid, but it took down the entire nation's power grid at the same time.
Into this entire podcast because now we've delivered a movie night for people.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a really good movie. I think it might be like a four-part series, but like
Better.
it was really good. And from like the hacker side of my brain, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't take that much skill to do that. You'd be surprised. Like if I was really motivated, very motivated, I am not a hacker, I could pull that off. Like that's really saying something because I kind of know where to look. I know how to look,
Structure. Yeah, absolutely.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, we're playing with borrowed time at this point because I mean we prove it to other nations. I had someone on previously that was knowledgeable to the inside workings of Stuxnet to a degree, and if you don't know what that is, it's the malware that basically took down Iran's nuclear program in 2014. And he was knowledgeable to the inner workings of it. And he said, yeah, the initial reason for deploying it was to actually, detract Iran from building a nuclear weapon, right? That's a great thing to do, probably. But the secondary effect of it was that they wanted to show the capabilities that we had, right? And so when it and I've done a lot of research into it. There's a very specific point in time when the virus began to, kind of communicate out, right? And so it was waiting to be discovered to some degree. And he said, yeah, that wasn't by mistake. Like we were in there for years. And then we decided, okay, let's just show them, just a very small little tidbit. We think that they'll be able to pick this up. Let's see if they will. Right. And so then it was discovered. And he's like, yeah, that was a complete show of force without really showing any force.
Yeah. A lot of these nation state attacks, by the way, wait a while before anyone can figure
They'll
it
wait
out, before they show themselves.
they'll wait forever. I mean, security professionals constantly, raise the alarm like, hey, we're getting a lot of solar panels from China. Like the inner workings, the boards are from China. Are we on good terms with China right now? Have we been? Not really. Is China known for not hacking things when they can hack things? No, they usually hack it when they can, So it's like we're kind of playing with fire right now, guys.
I do think, though, that you mentioned earlier on, your wife had said, but like, what do I matter to people? And there is that attitude. And I think it is very much an American attitude. Why would anybody care about my shopping list? Why would anybody care about what's in my emails? I think that is distinctly American because many of the Europeans I work with and know don't feel that way at all. I mean, I don't think they think that there's anything so special in their email or the data they create in their life, but they believe it is personal and private to them.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's very true. And I hear that a lot too. What does it matter if someone, hacks my profile or whatever it is, right? And you got to think, just one example is hey, there's a lot of felons out there that when they get out of prison, they want a new identity. How do they get a new identity? You typically need like a social security number, you need like real information. You can't just make it up because it has to be verified somewhere.
Somebody's identity has been stolen, it is a nightmare to recreate it. One of the things we try to educate people on in our company just to help them take care of themselves, lock your credit. Freezing your credit is like locking your front door. Freeze your credit. It doesn't need to be unlocked for anybody to go apply for credit for you. So things like that I think are important when you can as a security professional to educate others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Danielle, we're at the top of our time. We're a little bit over, but this has been a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you.
Me too. And I'm a fan of yours too. So I'll be listening and thank you for doing what you do.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that. It's not the first time someone said that they're a fan, but it's always weird whenever I hear it that it's like, oh, this person like watches there's people